Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder, Matthew Oman. We are all fight, no flight, primal fear. And you're watching BJ and DG Talk Wrestling. Yeah!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Look who's here.
Welcome back. Hi.
We got Jeff back.
Surprise entrant.
Here, DG over there.
How's it going? As you can see, our referee's back. He finally got both our Venmos, Cash Apps, checks. So somehow he got all that. Rumor had he was refereeing cats and dogs fighting each other and some weird thing. I don't know.
We keep that on the hush hush. That's
Yeah,
a little side thing. Don't tell Michael Vick.
Anyway, yeah, we started that off on the wrong note there. Welcome to our post-Royal Rumble episode of BJ and DG Talk Wrestling. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, what a Rumble it was, huh? From beginning to end. I was very happy with the show. Personally,
Top to
watching
bottom.
it.
Started off with the Women's Rumble right off the bat, as seems to have become tradition with this event every year. So started right off with a couple of the hot names in the business right now, a couple of women who've been champions themselves in the last year. Io Sky, the official first entrant, and Liv Morgan coming in number 2 from New Jersey. So, honestly, I was at work with a bunch of guys in a kitchen. Everyone stopped when Liv Morgan and just looked straight up at the TV, and no work got done for about a minute. But we got back to it after that. So Liv Morgan versus Io Sky starting it off strong. They had their couple of minutes, and then another former champion, Roxanne Perez, comes in there. So we start off right after that. 4th former champion, Lyra Valkyria, comes in.
And current,
Yes, former and current.
Yeah.
And then number 5, another current champion, Chelsea Green, comes in. So all these women's champions to start off this match just gets us off to a fantastic just burst of energy to not only start this Women's Rumble, but the entire pay-per-view in general. So, BJ, what did you think of this quintet of women that just came in there and started the entire thing for us?
I mean, it was how you kick off something like this. Stick a lot of big names right there in the beginning. And not just that, a lot of these ladies had a great showing in the match for coming in so early.
Yeah, they really did. I definitely agree with that. And just the idea that our first 5 were current or former champions, at least in the past, year or two? Because
right,
I believe all of them within the past year have had at least one title.
Current.
And then let's not remember, besides Roxanne, all the other NXT stars we saw. Lash Legend at 9. We had Jada Parker at 16.
Zoe Stark made a name for herself in NXT.
Yeah, we had Stephanie Valkyrie at 24. Julia at 28. And having the NXT Women's Champion in the match as well. This match was very well done.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Good mix of older talent in there as well, with obviously the return of Charlotte Flair and the surprise entrance of Trish Stratus and the super surprise entrance of Nikki Bella at number 30.
Yeah. Hey, let's also not forget the official WWE talent debut of Jordynne Grace in the Royal Rumble match, and also the return of Alexa Bliss.
I was so happy to see Alexa come out she looked fantastic from the limited action that we did get to see out of her. But as far as being a return spot, how do you feel that the Royal Rumble works for a lot of people like Danger Ginger? What do you see from wrestlers that are returning at the Rumble? How do they tend to treat that?
Well, it kind of comes down do we see Trish Stratus and Nikki Bella doing anything maybe past the Rumble, or are they just Hall of Fame appearance? entrances in the Rumble. With the Women's Rumble right now, where I see at least Charlotte going forward, I really think that she goes after Tiffy. I could also see somewheres where her and Rhea are 1-1 at WrestleMania. They have a split. They're 1-1 there, so we could see her maybe want to go back after Rhea, since plans got changed and the Liv Rhea feud was supposed to run till Mania.
BJ, what do you think makes more sense for Charlotte after winning the Rumble? Do you think she goes after Tiffany, or do you think she goes after Rhea to see who wins that rubber match at Mania?
I'd like to see her go after Tiffany, but from her perspective, Rhea's more established. She's the bigger one to boast about beating.
I just feel, and me, I agree with that. Like, you're going to put those two established stars together, but at the same time, it's almost the equivalent of, if you're building Tiffy up, all she has to do is go out there and actually look like she can beat Charlotte. This has to be believable, and even in a loss, that will elevate Tiffy to the fact that she had a main event-esque match with Charlotte Flair. Because like I said last week, a match with Charlotte at WrestleMania now is the equivalent of a match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
True. So to that extent, you did mention, I was going to follow up the chance of a loss by Tiffany at Charlotte. That could elevate her, you think, possibly even in a loss against Charlotte. Charlotte doesn't necessarily need a belt at this point. Charlotte is Charlotte. She could easily elevate Tiff even higher by giving her that WrestleMania rub.
Oh, 100%. Brother Floof Salisbury, I hope I said that right. The dissension of Bianca and Naomi definitely did show in that match, and that's not the first time. We had those seeds planted, 2 weeks ago, when she accidentally hit her with the hair with her braid?
Yep.
And they kind of had a thing there.
They had the next week, she's like wrapping it up so she wouldn't accidentally hit her.
Which, speaking of entrance or non-entrance in a Rumble match, I was really surprised that we didn't see a Jade Cargill return, even at some point. Not as necessarily number 31, but they were both still in the match.
Yeah.
Because at the end of that match, when number 30 came out, there was, I still think, 14 people in the Women's Rumble match. Which, by the way,
That's
the
a lot.
ticker... Yeah, the ticker at the bottom of that screen.
That was a
thumbs
nice
up to
addition this
WWE.
year.
Like,
Yeah. Gives you more of that true sports feel to everything that they're going for. It gives you that information like you have on the NFL tickers going over everything nowadays. So I guess we got to thank Fox in the 90s when they got the NFL for all that. But back to today.
Yeah. So what was some of your guys' moments in the Royal Rumble match?
I just wanted to say, what's up, Tara? Good to see you. And,
how you doing, Tara?
And heel Mark. Yeah, that was nice.
Nice to have that little bit of revenge there for Maxine finally to get a little bit of payback on Ivy.
That in the Women's Rumble, that Nia Jax spot.
Oh my, that's mine. 100. Like, I think that's a record for 6 people to be eliminated at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're talking about people big, like the Andre the Giants, the Big Shows, the Canes, the Undertakers never did something like that.
Yeah. Alexa's return was great.
Definitely agree, Tara.
I was really happy to see the NXT representation in the Women's Rumble. I'll probably bring this up again later. I wish there had been NXT representation in the Men's Rumble too.
Yeah, there really wasn't much representation from NXT. We had TNA representation, but we'll get to that later.
But yeah, definitely happy. And somehow with Roxanne coming in number 3, the showing she had in that match going from 3 to the end, absolutely
she's the new record
amazing.
holder for the length of time.
Yes.
She took Bailey's record from last year.
Yeah, these women are just stepping it up every year, and just seeing the differences, because both Rumbles played out completely differently.
All right, what about this point here about the opposite argument for the 6-person spot with taking
Let's
out
fly it.
anybody that they were building?
I mean, let's look at it from the point of view of the women are probably also going to have an elimination chamber match to determine the other contender. So we still have room to go. And the Royal Rumble match isn't a match where people necessarily ever get buried, right? Like,
Right.
if they're not going to win, they're going to get eliminated at some point. And having somebody like Nia Jax have that style of mass elimination was just like half of you were in the wrong spot at the wrong time for that to happen. Like you
It
had,
also shows Nia Jax's power. It makes her look that much stronger.
yeah, but I can see the opposite end of the spectrum that in a way it's burying, but if they weren't scheduled to win it anyway and Charlotte was going to win it, in the end, it doesn't matter because the point was for Charlotte to win. And eliminating all of them earlier on, look how much better that made Roxanne Perez look, lasting through all that and surviving, you know? Like, that's another story to be told in the match. I mean, personally, I felt like as soon as I saw Charlotte at 27, it was guaranteed she was going to win because that's the most coveted spot in Royal Rumble history.
When I saw Charlotte was coming back at the Rumble.
Once they announced that, even before that, I was calling her to win. You know?
Yeah. But it still counts as her elimination. Whatever, she was the one that pushed them all off the apron. You know, which, hey, we see somebody get pushed off the apron later on.
It's a part of the Rumble. It's part of the rule set. That's
which is why I always say being a high flyer really sucks for somebody like a Rey Mysterio who would do doing a lot of those top rope moves because that eliminates a certain part of your arsenal because you don't want to purposely climb to the top rope and then get pushed off because then you're eliminated.
Exactly.
But Chelsea had an incredibly better showing this year than she did last year.
Accidentally getting eliminated by Piper, not the best way to get eliminated.
Well,
hey.
I have my theory that they could be going one-on-one at WrestleMania, or at least some point down the line, because it seems like they've started planting the seeds for there to be dissension between the two.
There's always the seeds there, but they seem to be a really good pairing that works well together. I could see them keeping this going for at least through SummerSlam, well beyond WrestleMania.
I mean, it's a wait and see where they want to go with the characters, right? Where's this story go? Because they're almost completely done with this whole Michin and B-Fab story. You know, like there's not much tread left on that, even adding B-Fab to the equation. Because she has to be built up to be considered a legit contender for any championship.
Yeah, B-Fab, she really didn't make much of an impression as a wrestler in NXT during the whole Hit Row era when they got their call up. She was never the one that was the wrestler. It was always Ashanti and then Top Dollar, now AJ Francis as the wrestler. She was always more the manager. So seeing her transition more into the wrestler side, it's kind of like a Maxine Dupree. She kind of got to find more of her footing.
Or Lana Russo's
CJ Perry.
Yeah. Like she went through plenty of tables before getting anywhere close to looking actually competitive in the ring during that whole night. Was Nia Jax?
That was Nia Jax too.
But yeah, I had fun watching the women's match, even if I knew Charlotte was going to win going into it.
Yeah,
like those women
all knew that was going to be the outcome.
Yeah, those women put on a good show. We got to see a lot of young talent from a jacked NXT women's division.
We did that, and plus we got to see the debut of Jordynne Grace in WWE officially. So now, which show do we think Jordan is going to land on? Is she going to NXT first? Do they build her up there a little bit, or does she come right to main roster?
I think after that reaction she got last night, and I've been saying it for the past couple of weeks, speculating about her going to WWE and stuff like that, that I thought she would have been a good surprise just out of nowhere to win the Rumble in a debut, because that's something I don't think we've ever seen somebody win a Rumble in their official debut. I think she's main
However,
roster ready.
She wasn't going to do that because of Charlotte.
Yeah. The Flair legacy, whatever. Woo. I think personally she goes to Raw.
Good heel, good spot for her.
But I think it will also depend on what they have planned for Charlotte, because I wouldn't mind seeing Jordynne Grace be the other person to get a title shot at WrestleMania. And I think her and Rhea would be a hell of a show. That's a match I think could steal the show.
Do you think it's too early to pair those two in a match? Or do you want to wait, build them up, BJ, a little bit more?
I'm thinking NXT for at least 6 months.
6 months for Jordynne Grace in NXT.
What's there for her to do in NXT? She's already competed for the women's championship there. She's already faced everybody there, win or lose, throughout this last year. I feel like there's fresher competition on the main roster.
Yeah,
that would be more to her level.
Like a couple of feuds,
But
pair up with Julia, pair up with
So then how's that help build her? Because it seems like they're going to be invested in Julia for a while. Are we going to be hot shining the championship to her?
Who?
From Julia, like if you put them two together, that's a championship match. Are you going to have Jordynne Grace get pinned by Julia?
That's a hard sell. You have to really book that one right.
Not necessarily, not right away. I mean, I'm not saying that's the first thing you do with her. Just have her have a few matches here and there. Feud.
I could see potentially like maybe you have her work with Fallon Henley after Stephanie Vakir, stuff like that. Depending on how that championship goes, that just becomes the idea. Like anybody we would want to pair her up with, there's probably bigger plans for. And if you're going to have somebody the caliber of Jordynne Grace, who has already accomplished so much in pro wrestling, it kind of makes sense. Like, hey, the Motor City Machine Guns could have gone through NXT and they didn't.
Yeah, but they're like legends.
There's just so much that plays into it. I think Jordynne Grace is main roster ready. I don't think she needs to. I don't think she needs to build up. The fans know who she is.
Yeah, I don't think that's the WWE move.
I definitely think, even if she's not in a top spot, say going into WrestleMania, right? I still think she gets a good spot on the main roster.
Eventually.
Let's see. Hypothetically, let's say you put Jordynne Grace in the Elimination Chamber match in February, or March 1st, rather. Is that something we could think of doing?
Yeah, I think that would be a woman powerhouse in that match who could do almost those Brock Lesnar like spots of putting somebody through the plexiglass or something like that. Like there could be a lot of fun spots.
Her and Nia Jax facing off against each other in the chamber at some point.
I mean,
that could be a fun match.
Like there's a lot of stuff to where I think the competition to where the NXT women, I feel like might have to step their game up to her, to where now for her being on the main roster, that lets her push herself because she's done everything in NXT. She's been a part of a lot of big moments there this year. And if they didn't have faith in her and to have those moments and she didn't have them, then maybe I would agree to put her at NXT first. But I think she understands.
She's done everything in NXT. She's been in NXT like 3-4 times.
She's had an NXT Women's Championship match. She had the 20. How many women have gone through NXT and not held that championship?
No, but I'm saying you say she's done everything. I mean, she hasn't.
She's had the big moments. She's had the moments in NXT, and she's gone through there. She doesn't need to hold the NXT championship. That's a step down for her. That's a step down for Jordynne Grace to hold.
Like, I feel like that's where she's at.
The TNA Knockouts Championship is more prestigious than the Women's NXT Championship. that is a
Maybe,
developmental
but-
championship. That is not something that
That's
she
pretty much that's how they're
needs.
looking at TNA now.
They could
But
have left if they wanted her on an NXT level. They kind of could have left her in TNA for a bit and kept with the crossover. Although now in TNA you do have the whole Tessa Blanchard factor, so Jordan probably wanted to get away from her.
And also looking at it like this, you're going to remove that idea that Jordan Grace could go back to NXT right now. Like, she just signed her WWE contract with that working relationship. Eventually, that's going to have to cross back over, just like it ended up going back with Wesley, right? Like, I even thought that whole thing was done. And then, hey, they reminded us that the Rascals had number one contendership match that they were never granted, or a championship match that they earned that they were never granted, which just brought that back around. So, all right, now there's a little bit of unfinished business that most of us fans forgot about because they moved on to the Wesley heel turn and turning on him. I just feel like Jordan Grace has kind of gone through there. And just because she's only appeared on TV sparingly doesn't mean she wasn't working at the Performance Center with the coaches there. Because as part of that deal was that anybody from TNA can go to the Performance Center and work with their coaches. So if that's the case and she was doing stuff with them, I think she's main roster ready. And what's the worst that happens? They kind of have nothing for her and just send her down anyway. Like, I think she's ready for her.
Does that hurt her more than having her start in NXT and then work her way back up?
But who's the feud? She goes to NXT. Who's the first person to pop up? Who's the first? Who? It does matter because she's a big enough name to deserve a big enough feud to put her in a spotlight.
Zarya or whatever her name is.
I would not mind Lash Legend, but I would love to see her going up also against the likes of Bianca Belair 1-on-1, Jade Cargill 1-on-1, Rhea, now Charlotte, all people that are her stature and that she looked legit being in the ring with last night.
Yeah.
It's just like, I get the point of view. Oh no, she's new to WWE, but she's not new to working in their system.
Yeah, that helps her, but that's not a pass to the main roster. Like, I feel like, yeah, she got a good reaction at the Rumble. That helps her. She's been working at the PC. That helps her. But like, it doesn't seem like a very WWE move for them to put her right on.
This isn't Vince's WWE.
And I'm taking
I don't
that into consideration.
And I think Triple H would see the value in that. I think plenty of other people would. Otherwise, why would you debut her in the Rumble again? You could have held her off and debuted her Tuesday on NXT.
Just to get more eyes on her.
She's had eyes. She has the eyes on her.
Because they need to get more eyes on her, obviously.
I disagree. I think she's a big enough name to be able to start on the main roster.
The average fan has no idea who she is.
67,000 people disagree with you from last night.
The average fan doesn't go to events or PLEs. The average fan watches once in a while. The average fan maybe has seen Jordan Grace twice.
Then they know who she is.
In 2 years, no, they're gonna forget. Oh yeah, wasn't this girl in the Rumble last year? Oh yeah, okay. You know, like, I feel like the average fan.
You are disrespectful to the name of Jordan Grace.
The average fan, and we're not average fans. We're marks. You know what I mean? Like,
but even then, like, her name's big enough within the circles of wrestling without insulting the fans that she belongs on the main roster.
She does eventually. But like, I don't know, it doesn't seem like a very WWE move to put her right on the main roster. They could strap a rocket to her, and you know, but if so, I'm afraid of how they'll book her and like where she'll end up.
I mean, that's the risk with anybody, whether you're being called up or going down. So it depends on what they have for her. But if they knew this contract signing was, because she left pretty quickly and got that contract right away. They knew what was going to happen.
Everybody, I'm not saying she's personally not ready. Everybody. I'm saying I don't think in WWE's eyes she's a main roster she's gonna.
Let me put a
So
perspective
then
on it
I
like
can't
this.
hold on. Can I counter that real quick? Then why was Jade Cargill main roster ready and not Jordan Grace, who has incredibly more experience working TV and working wrestling in the general purpose than Jade Cargill has in the 3 years she's been wrestling now? 2 of them over in AEW.
Can I respond? Because people watched AEW. People don't watch TNA and NXT generally.
I disagree with more. I think more people watch NXT or watch TNA than NXT.
Now-
Here's where my question comes in. Now, with Jordan Grace coming from TNA, her name recognition going to main roster, is it equivalent to Tiffany Stratton coming from NXT going to main roster?
I feel
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
They
if you
built
want to
people.
talk, the idea that the crowd had, let's put that into perspective. When Tiffy debuted,
She had zero
It was-
response.
it was crickets in the arena compared to Jordan Grace coming out and 2 Royal Rumbles and multiple NXT appearances, and those crowds popped every time.
So, based on just those dichotomy of main roster reactions, Jordan Grace is more main roster ready than Tiffany was coming off of NXT, which is WWE's own programming. So,
Yeah, okay.
If anything, I would say, and just to play the devil's advocate of the other side, the one benefit would be to get fully into the WWE routine of entrances, of timing. I don't think she needs the ring work. None of that.
Yeah.
I think at a wrestling level, she is ready. I think at a popularity level, she is ready. But if you're just going to be like, hey, I want to fine tune this, so we're going to say we have a short program for you down there, and then you're going to come up and we're going to put a rocket to you and see what you got.
And that's all I'm saying. I think we'll do that 6 months at the most.
I don't even think she needs that personally, but I get the idea of doing that. I just think that that's something that could be literally taught to her also on the main roster. If that's the one thing, like, hey, we'll just you just be a little bit more hands-on with her to make sure that she's got it. Because I can only imagine that with Jade Cargill, how hands-on they are with her, because we've seen since she's been in WWE, she's not the same caliber of star she was in AEW.
Yeah.
You know,
But
and that's why that's where that comparison, like, they were both on a product on TV. Granted, AEW might now might at that time have had the bigger fan base and more eyes on it,
and it was more accessible.
I mean, they're both
at that time.
I mean, depending on where you live, I get the idea, but even then with internet and stuff, people know who Jordan Grace is. I have faith that the wrestling fans know who she is enough to give her a chance.
Like
Because-
the average fan, though.
Well, this is the second Royal Rumble in a row that she has been in. So,
and this isn't the first, and she was mentioned across the main roster promoting NXT. So that even those main roster fans who might not watch NXT might have watched the 2300 show, but like, oh, hey, I've seen videos of Jordan Grace on Instagram. I will watch NXT that week because she's appearing, because she just looks like a brick house, right? Like, you look at her and you're just like, that's somebody you don't want to be in a dark alley against, right?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Definitely
I'm
not.
average fan. What I mean is casual fan.
Like, but I mean,
Like-
even with the casual fans, you know, hey, she has the look.
Oh,
You
even
know,
for the
she's somebody-
casual fan. For the casual fan, even like we're talking the person who just tunes in for like Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, they aren't going to know. Going back to Tiffany Stratton, a year or two ago, they would have had no idea who she was. And, you know, she comes onto the main roster from NXT, arguably less known than Jordan Grace is now. So,
And I mean, just to also put it in perspective, the last time we saw her in the Royal Rumble last year, she also appeared as the TNA Knockouts champion.
She did.
She had just so if fans go back and think about, like, oh wow, a year ago she was a champion entering this match. Now they've announced she's officially signed with the company, making her debut. So for those casual fans who might only start tuning in now, they're not going to need the last year of backstory. They're just going to be like, all right, what are you going to tell me now about her? You're going to give her a mic. You're going to let her go out there and talk. And that's going to be the best thing, because now these fans, for the most part, who are WWE fans, who might only know by name people like Joe Hendry,
Right.
Masha, and whoever else, Jordan Grace, that, hey, they know who they are by name recognition. And name recognition sometimes is all that's needed for that casual fan to now see, like, oh, okay. Oh, she competed over in this company and did all that. Wow. Oh, wow. She competed with the men. Her and Bully Ray had a match. Like, then they go look at that and they're like, oh, wow, she's legit. So sometimes it's leaving it to those casual fans to go do the research themselves without giving all the answers, And most fans do that now. Even the least of the casual fans will be, if they're curious enough about it, they'll put it into a search engine, and then you'll get a crap full of her matches pulled up.
Right.
By the way, just real quick to shift, did anybody catch anything with Alexa Bliss's entrance gear of what she was wearing? There were a couple interesting things I'd like to point out from it. The dedication to Bray Wyatt. And if you go back and find the picture of her, where it says Fiend, it was like Fiend for Life or Forever or something like that on the back, between the F and the I was an R. But that R was the style of the Rhea makeup R that she does for her initials.
Okay.
Also, in the Lily doll's eyes.
It was a whole new doll also.
Yeah.
The new Lily doll, which is available at shopwwe.com, by the way. I have mine on the way already. But yeah, in the eyes, if you look at a picture, I don't have it pulled up and I forget what it says at the moment. But there's something with the eyes of the doll.
It was just interesting that was the style of R they chose, because that's very specific to Rhea. So could we see a Alexa Bliss World Championship chase at some point down the line? Because if it's one thing WWE's been good at the last 2 years is
giving
seeds
little
and
Easter
eggs. Yes. You go to the chat real quick.
There you go.
Brother Fluff, do you all see Chelsea Green turning babyface this year? The crowds love her.
There's a little A and a little
AB. Oh, yeah, that's Alexa Bliss in the eyes for the pupils. That's nice.
Yeah.
And how beautiful, by the way. I can't wait till Lily comes.
But yeah, before we move on to the tag team championship match,
Chelsea turning babyface potential.
Yes, thoughts.
Sure, I would not mind a Chelsea heel, turn from heel to face. Yeah, that would definitely be fun. The crowd is behind her. I mean, use the power of Karen for good.
Said no one ever. Hey. But I could definitely see a face turn for her at some point. She had a very interesting Busted Open interview this week. Where she was talking about how a lot of heels do their thing when they go out, right? Like they go off script and they'll say something about something like somebody's forehead or something, right? Like her understanding of the business is much deeper than what people realize. She's like, I don't insult my opponents. I take the insults thrown at me and I just embrace it. Her promo style is definitely different. I would love to see her on the face side of things.
Yeah,
I would also love at some point to see it just here and there a little bit of intergender wrestling in the WWE, and I will continue to say I would love to see a match between
Chelsea
her
versus Penta in WWE.
Yeah,
I would love to see that. Like,
I'll tell you, I feel like now that they've announced that there will be intergender wrestling in WWE 2K25, I feel like the door is a little more open now.
Except for in Oklahoma.
Maybe it's been my
no.
politicking. Yeah, Oklahoma says screw that stuff.
Well, yeah.
And he's dun, 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 dun,
Okay.
dun, dun, dun,
Let's all watch BJ cut himself.
That was all I needed.
That's
to
not
total.
this type of stream. But yeah, like we said, props to all 30 ladies that went out there and did their thing. Like I said, I was surprised, no Jade return, no Becky return.
Yeah. The no Becky surprised me more than the no Jade return.
But you know what?
Yeah.
We still got 2.5 months till WrestleMania. There is plenty of time for returns and builds.
Yeah. My
I
biggest
just don't-
surprise return was Nikki Bella in that number 30 spot. I did not see Nikki Bella coming back. Did not have that on my bingo card, and I honestly wondered why she
I
came
heard
back.
some
But
news,
hey.
but it was just
But
like
hey,
all the other rumors, Like, yeah, well, that could
Mhm.
happen.
So, yeah, I don't know. It happened. She's there.
She was.
I don't know if
Hopefully-
she's back full time or what, but
Hopefully. I think. Hopefully, that was just a one-off.
I mean,
Yeah,
if she's back for anything, I have a feeling it would be some type of short program.
and it's not for John.
No, definitely not for John. So, enough about the Women's Royal Rumble.
Yes, on to the tag match. 2 out of 3 falls between the Motor City Machine Guns and the defending champions DIY. Yeah, this has been just a saga in the making here. The 2 out of 3 falls is the result of just the years of knowledge between these two teams, of their styles, and just the feeling that there was no way that one fall on one night was going to get the job done or answer any questions about who the better team actually was between these two, especially after the way everything went down with how DIY got the titles off of the Guns. So, Ginger, we'll start with you. In that first round before the first fall, what did you see out of these two teams going up, leading up to that first fall by DIY?
Two teams very familiar with each other. These guys have been up and down the roads with each other. These two might be two of the most familiar tag teams in wrestling right now, just when it comes up to pairing and the history. Saw two teams that wanted those tag team titles. That both teams came out firing fast to try to get a quick first fall.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised of how the first fall happened, but hey, there was 2 more falls to go after that.
Yep. Yeah. So going into that second fall by the Machine Guns, BJ, what did you see? Did they have a tactic change coming out of that first lost fall that they had that fueled them to get into that second one? Another gear that they hit?
I feel like at that point it was more survival mode.
Yeah, with the Machine Guns when they went down.
Did what they had to do,
Then we move on to that third and final decisive fall, which hey, we get the random thumb up there. I guess BJ's right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's just something weird going on, man.
We did talk about Bray Wyatt, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I guess say his name, he'll give us a thumbs up.
Does that count as a thumbs up? No, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, the third fall, that was what it was all about, was getting that third pinfall, because it's always going to go 1-1 both directions to start things off.
It's very rare we get the clean sweep right away, unless there's a very storytelling motive behind it.
Right.
That third fall was probably the best fall of all 3. Like, we saw both these teams now take the best that each other had and had to dig deep. Which, up until the finish, they looked like they were even with each other. Move for move.
Yep. BJ, how do you think DIY managed to just gut it out and come up with this third fall, or the second fall out of this match? How did they get there before the Guns were able to?
Again, desperation.
So you think they were the more desperate team?
They wanted it more. They needed it more at that point.
Tommaso does need that championship. It is his one true love.
Look, I'm all about that man being champion or just being a heel in the general purpose, because I think he's one of the best heels in the business today. He proved that when he was a heel in NXT. There was a reason he stayed there. Like he helped develop a lot of this talent that came before him onto the main roster, as a matter of fact. Because you had the likes of him, Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, who stayed there.
Yeah. So by winning these 2 out of 3 falls, do you think this actually proves that DIY are better than the Guns now?
No, because there's a problem. There's a big problem. We didn't get it straight up for that third fall. We had the Street Profits come out, and who was it, Sabin or Shelley on the top rope?
I think it was Shelley at that point.
Yeah, and hit him with the crutch, which DIY used that distraction and that interference to pick up the win. And then we also had the Street Profits afterwards attack DIY, planting their flag, wanting a shot at those championships. And we never found out who was the better team. And that was the whole point of the 2 out of 3 falls. DIY just happened to be the team who didn't get attacked first.
Yeah,
that's fair. So, do you think that this
SmackDown Tag Team division?
What was that?
There's a lot of hungry teams in that SmackDown Tag Team division.
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of good tag teams in that division, right? Not saying there isn't on Raw, but the SmackDown Tag Team division seems to be more prominent at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the NXT Tag Team division is good, and I can't wait to. I hope that Fraxium doesn't split now at some point. I hope they stay together. Which bringing them up real quick, they're going to be defending the NXT Tag Team titles against the Namath brothers. I believe on NXT, or not on NXT, on Impact, I do believe.
Yeah.
Yep, it's going to be on Impact. Nick Nemeth and Nick Nemeth's brother.
Ryan? Dude, I've had some really interesting interactions with him on Instagram for the past week and a half. It's been fun.
Sure have. Good stuff. Keep it up.
But yeah, so where do we triple threat tag team championship match coming down the road?
Potentially, but I have a question about the Street Profits. The Street Profits, they chose to attack the Guns. They could have attacked DIY. They didn't. They did choose to attack the Guns. Do you think that was part of a message being sent to the Guns or to DIY? Like, we want DIY as
I think
we want to face these guys. Yeah, you think that's
fair?
Oh wow! Look at that new graphic.
It was hidden because I'm in the corner with our graphic. So, I would like to see a triple threat between all 3 teams. I think
all 3 teams, and even throw in Angel and Humberto, and have a ladder match for the belt.
I'm throwing in Pretty Deadly in their place because
Pretty Deadly's been involved in this storyline.
Yeah,
Pretty Deadly. Yes,
ladder.
A tag team scramble match, the first ever tag team scramble.
That would work.
It's a match type we haven't seen in WWE in a long time. Is the scramble match like? I guess we kind of have it with the Iron Survivor in NXT.
It opens almost every indie show, but
we're
point said, and not in WWE.
That's what I'm saying. 5 team left.
I mean, here's the thing though. Then if we're leading to that, it's kind of becoming a thing now that we get this somehow multi-team or multi-person ladder match at WrestleMania every year. I'd like for once, like, be able to step back a little bit and see a couple teams just get featured in a tag team championship match. And I feel like this would be a case to where all three of these teams, including Pretty Deadly, so even in a fatal four-way, they would get time to shine and show what it is. Now, instead of a ladder match, an elimination match.
Tag
That would be
elimination
nice.
match.
Yeah.
They do it as elimination instead, so that all these teams can get time to be featured. Because we're talking about 4 fantastic teams. Pretty Deadly's a great team who's barely used on TV right now.
What are you saying? Like a gauntlet?
No,
Yeah.
like a fatal 4-way elimination. The last team standing wins the championships
Fair enough.
instead of doing a ladder
Well,
match.
chaos.
Yeah,
What if you
like,
did it as a tornado?
Well,
Then-
that's
then
pretty
we
much
did-
what it
then we might as well do the ladder match.
would
But with pins. So you eliminate
Yeah.
team members
Book
as
it,
they
you
get
coward.
pinned.
Book it.
So
Book it.
like you,
I feel
you have
I
two
feel
members.
like one of those a 5 team would just be too much at that point because then you have to do tornado. There's no place for the 5th team to stand.
Oh, you're saying like a 4 corners match?
Yeah, a fatal 4-way.
Oh,
Fatal
okay.
4-way, a fatal 4-way elimination.
Okay.
So,
You
you
didn't
know,
say it.
yeah, I did. But yeah,
Maybe.
like Humberto and Garza, I could see going over to the other because that's the other thing. How jacked that SmackDown tag team division is, why they're still doing this whole transfer window thing. Maybe shift another team or two over to Raw because I'm going to say
What's
this:
all have?
AOP, Judgment Day,
Yeah, but they're gonna
War
break up.
Raiders.
Oh yeah, they're the
Yeah,
champions.
Creed
War Raiders are the current
Brothers.
champs.
The Creeds are on SmackDown now. I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't think
Yeah,
we've got.
they're with Gable on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if that Gable was officially moved over. I know Miz and Priest have been officially moved over, but Gable's still been doing this whole thing of luchador training. I guess come back around to a Penta match because they mentioned
Right,
it last night.
Right, that is Raw.
Oh,
That is Raw.
yeah. Yeah, they're on Raw.
Because you've moved the Wyatts over to SmackDown.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So there's a gap there. So Humberto and Garza would be a good addition to that team, or even Pretty Deadly. So they give them a fresh start somewhere.
Well, who else we got in the tag division? I'm just looking through Raw. We got the LWO, AOP. Oh, Theory and Waller.
Oh yeah, they just got moved over there. Yeah.
Yep.
We still kind of have Judgment Day for the moment.
They did just
Dragon
have a title
Ball.
match.
They did.
We do have New Day. So I mean, they're kind of stacked already, but like, I guess one more wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, and and maybe just do it as a trade, kind of, and shipped one of those teams. So some of these guys just get fresh starts, right? They get something new to work with.
matchups.
Yeah, which is always a nice thing for us fans, so that we're not stuck there seeing the same thing over and over. We lived through that for 12 years with Vince.
What is the transfer window closed? I believe.
No,
They
I
said-
don't know. I mean, they mentioned it, and nothing happened for like the first 3 weeks of it. So
No. I think they said this week that it's closed.
So
I
then
forgot
this could be the last week then for them because it's been the past 2 weeks they've started actually moving talent and
I don't
really
know. I
doing
might-
stuff about it.
Now I'm questioning what I heard. I know they did mention it, but I don't remember exactly what they said.
I don't recall them mentioning anything on TV about the end of the transfer window. I'm assuming it's one of those things that will just end and not be said.
Yeah, this whole
No,
transfer
they
portal's been
definitely said-
confusing.
They definitely said the transfer window will come to an end, but I don't remember when.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just haven't heard them say that it's over yet. But
No, but they said when it's going to end.
I don't remember them. I remember them saying it started, but I don't remember them announcing like when it ended.
Royal Rumble
It'll end the
weekend.
day before the draft.
No, it's already over. The transfer window's over.
So what we would
All right.
see now might be any final things that they can say. Oh, we did these trades.
This happened
these
right before the end.
Right.
Right,
So
right.
tomorrow we're definitely going to see some like, oh, last minute this happened.
Yeah. So tomorrow, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we're in the last day. We're on the trade deadline.
Pretty much, but we don't know. It's not like we can just like look it up. They're not going to announce unless they do. Like midnight, WWE's like it has just been announced.
That would be the pro wrestling thing to happen completely. But yeah, so
And by the way, one more thing. Roman is still not officially on Raw,
no, he is not.
but
Still a
I think
free
they
agent?
might- no, he's well, technically, yeah, but I think
I
they
mean-
might make that official tomorrow.
That would make sense now, because if we look at, which we will talk about shortly, of certain eliminations in the men's Rumble match, that boy,
We still got one
I
more
have-
match to get to
yeah.
before the men's rumble. Though.
so to wrap up with this tag team, this meaner Street Profits, I'm looking forward to, and how much I love DIY and I love the Machine Guns. I want to see a heel Street Profits or this meaner Street Profits have a title run now.
It'll have to be
Hey,
a meaner
also-
Street Profits because the crowd won't let him go heel.
We almost got that with Bobby Lashley, but like,
Well,
it didn't
well,
happen.
I think the problem with that was how they thought like Vince just thought that, hey, I'm going to pair them with Bobby. It's just going to instantly turn them heel. No, what happened is it turned Bobby Lashley face. You got the
Right,
complete
right.
opposite of what you wanted because the Street Profits were so loved.
Yeah, we're tough and mean, and now everybody
Yeah.
loves us.
Yeah, and it was out of nowhere. But through that, we kind of got to this, right? Because Bobby Lashley was the one that's like, hey, you guys need to be more serious. Stop going out there and constantly having so much fun. You guys are better than you think. You guys know how good you are. And that's a whole
Imagine if
nother-
the Street Profits had been part of the Hurt Business.
Lashley,
MVP.
weren't they though? They might not have ever called them that, but weren't they though?
But I mean, if you had MVP as the mouthpiece with those two, I mean, you could have still figured out a spot for Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander in there as well.
Yeah, I think you bring back Shelton for that and just leave Cedric out, because at that point you have two singles guys and you have a tag team with a manager.
Yeah,
you're good.
That could have definitely worked.
But now, probably
the original incarnation of the Hurt Business was the best, but that was in TNA as the Beatdown Clan.
Yeah.
MVP, Lashley, Samoa Joe, Low Key. Oh my God, who else was in it? Yeah, they were terrifying. And it was when Low Key was doing his like hitman gimmick where he just wore a suit.
Yeah, I remember those days. Not too fondly, but I remember them.
All right. Well, let's move along to the championship match on the card here, the solo championship match. Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes, ladders going up, retrieving not one, but 2 championship belts from the top there. So this match was insanely brutal from both competitors.
Believe they lived.
Multiple times.
I can't believe they were allowed to do what they did in that match.
Like ladder spots are scary enough,
especially in a WWE ring. That was my first thing, was that power bomb spot. Don't get it wrong. And then the Fisherman Buster suplex onto the bridged ladder that legitly looked like it either knocked all the air out of Cody or legitly he popped up knocked out.
Yeah.
And his brain was just like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Because you see the referee cover his mouth while he's speaking. Like, no, something went, not that something went wrong. It was just that brutal.
It was like the old picture, like, don't want anyone to read my lips when I'm talking on the mound thing.
Yeah.
And then, like, oh my God, no. It was like, okay, we got a problem over here.
And then that spot overshadows the other brutal spot that essentially closed the match in the Alabama Slam on the bridge ladder outside the ring. And Owens,
Owens' next step.
Yeah, I thought he was dead.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it into perspective. All the pile drivers he's given, he got a pile driver from a ladder.
Yeah.
Like, it was just insane.
I have a feeling we don't see Owens around for a while.
I'm hoping that just looked worse than it really was. Because
storyline
wise, I would expect at this point to see him back after Chamber. If not cleared till after then.
But if not, Mania run-in. Whatever Cody's match is, Mania run-in.
Do we think Cody even has a match at Elimination Chamber?
Just
give him the night off.
You know what? Put him in the chamber. Have him defend.
Well, I was going to say, here's the thing. What if they do have to go the route that he'll be healthy for Mania, but he's not healthy for Chamber? I don't think he's necessarily needed for Elimination Chamber. You could give him a one-off title defense at some point. Yeah. So now that it comes, will he be healthy enough for WrestleMania?
Okay, I can see them doing
that. Like some of the way they sold it last night during the post show, how injured that they said he couldn't come out to answer questions. As a matter of fact, he is badly injured from what I'm being told. Like, there's something to that. And I also think that even if he's not horribly injured, they're playing it up because it's something they've been playing up on TV for the past 2 months with Kevin Owens has been, why are you spreading yourself so thin? Why are you pushing yourself so hard? Why? And you've had former champions come up and say this to him. You've had Nick Aldis come up and say it to him, like, you're doing too much. Like, that is something purposely being said in storyline to where I think he drops the title at WrestleMania, and it's just a matter of to who.
Before I forget, I just want to say, get well soon, JD McDonough.
Oh my God,
was rough, and nobody did anything wrong. It was just
that giant melon.
Well, that too, but it was the broke ribs, so the melon had probably weighed him down.
But exactly.
To get well soon, like, that was horrible to watch, and I watched the Stevie Richards breakdown of it, and Stevie, man, I can't plug him enough. Stevie Richards is the absolute man, and he really knows wrestling, and he tells you everything the way he sees it. No one really did anything wrong. It was just a bad idea. If that spot were to be done on the ramp, it was one thing. But with the announce table right there, it shouldn't have been done.
I mean, it's a spot we see a lot of guys do. And you know what? Sometimes things just happen, right? Like we, just like as an example, the match, I forget what year it was, 2013, 2014 maybe, when Enzo and Cass were having that tag team match on pay-per-view.
Right.
And he was supposed to slide under the rope. And you see him hit the rope and his eyes roll in the back of his head, knocked out before he even got out of the ring and hit the floor.
Simon got, absolutely. He's a guy like, I kind of lost what I was going to say there. Never mind. Like, Simon Gotch, like, gives it to you. You know what I mean? So he wasn't holding back. And it was just, he had that momentum. It was just the unfortunate positioning.
Yeah, 100%.
That's kind of where I was going.
So where do we see Kevin Owens going once he's recovered from all of his injuries? Do we still think that he's going to insist that he should be the champion and pursuing this?
No, it'll be a whole new thing.
He will be the typical heel. He'll come up with the excuse why he didn't win, because now it's regardless whether he's right or wrong. He couldn't get the job done, and when he had the opportunity to get the job done, he showed mercy. So it is now 100% on him that he didn't take advantage of Cody Rhodes' leg injury in that match.
So turning KO against his own words.
Yes, trust the ginger.
What up, House of Cluck?
House of Cluck is 100% correct on that. But yeah, there's respect to both those guys for what they did out there. Like, that was one of the most brutal ladder matches I've seen in a really long time. And there's been some good ones, even in recent memory of the past couple months. And it was just something that I had to sit there and go back and rewatch that match today.
Yeah.
It's just like, I still got that same cringe that I did last night watching it live.
That's an impressive thing for a match to be able to do when you know what's coming and you're still cringing watching it.
Yeah.
So, what do we think Cody does for the next month or so until like after Elimination Chamber, and we get who he's going to face, or he might face who the Royal Rumble winner was, but I think it's more likely he gets who we had from the Elimination Chamber. So what do we do with Cody until his next opponent is fully named?
Well, we do have a couple things there, right? Because does Jay directly, during the press conference last night, he did drop Gunther's name, but he even put it into perspective that now he could go for either championship. And I think, that whoever he goes after will be the main event of whatever night. Me personally, and I said this before we went on the air, I would love to see Jay and Cody. You know, I think
we can discuss more Jay after we get through the Rumble, but more specifically on Cody at this point. What do we think he does until we get his WrestleMania opponent? Does he have anyone like that's coming for him that we think of off the top of our heads now that KO's been dealt with for the time being?
Could we see Sammy chase after Cody?
Sammy has been had people.
Because it's interesting. It's hard to say with all that, right? Of what happened last night during that ladder match when Sammy came out. I was waiting for him to interfere in the match. Especially at the end. I was waiting for it.
While he was standing there attending to both guys. Yeah.
And the whole idea of torn friendships has been a storyline intertwined through all this, whether it was Roman and Cody, a strained relationship, KO and whoever with a strained relationship. That's been the idea. I think that KO is going to move on to Orton. And there's a reason why we didn't see Orton last night, and that could be why. Save it for something to have a bit of its own moment, so it's not involved, especially in something like what we saw last night.
I think you're right about that. I think we didn't see Orton because that's where they're going with it.
Yeah, try to hold off just a little bit longer and keep him in the back of the mind. But now, the whole idea of Cody's path's going to be a difficult one with what they're showing.
Yeah. Do you think Cody? Do you think they keep him out?
I would keep both those guys off TV for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, sell the injuries, sell that both these guys went through hell, whether they're okay or not. Because our perspective of that match is it was a beating on both of them.
Beautiful way.
It's almost like I feel like they had real life beef.
All right. Well, let's finish on to the Rumble here. And you know what? Heel Mark, I will say it because I said it too. Heel Mark got it right. Chef the Ref got it right. Danger Ginger will verify that both of us got it right.
Yes. Hey, I'm just saying. I was afraid to say he was right. What I was waiting for was to get to the moment, and he's just impatient. Waiting for it and just wants to hear it. And
Care to
I
say it
said
now?
I said it last week. I could see in a world, and I think I said to you, where Jey Uso, being how over he is, but just didn't seem like the right call in an all-star Royal Rumble like this. But that just puts him over a million times more that he went through all these future Hall of Famers and big names to get to that he survived those names to get there. Whether he eliminated them or not, he was there. He also eliminated Sami Uso. Or Sami Zayn, Sami Uso, whatever. From the match on accident. Same guy, different name. The wrestling multiverse. Somewhere in the multiverse, there's a
You
Samoan.
mean El Generico?
Yes.
Oh, that's in a whole nother universe.
Well, speaking of the names in this match, let's just start off with the top. We had Rey Mysterio, legendary lucha figure, versus Penta as the number 2. So we get this just lucha match that we've been waiting to see since Penta came in, and we haven't been waiting that long, quite honestly, because it's only been a couple weeks. And we already get Ray just off the top of the Rumble here, only for 2 minutes by themselves, but still, that was
so glad
nice.
we got that face off.
Yeah, yep. And then number 3, we've got the guy who has a problem with luchadors, Chad Gable. I love that he's got the "You Suck" chant now.
Well, they manufactured it.
They built it into it, but you know what? I'm glad to see something live on from that. Because thank you, Edge.
Yes, Edge and Christian. That was the tag team. They had the Kazoos at that point. Don't forget.
But it was Edge the one that gave him the signs that he's saying.
Edge gave him the
sign. Started the whole use because they were not. I don't believe they were tagging at the time, and Edge was on one of his singles runs. Because I think he was kind of tagging with Kurt at the time.
But I remember when Edge and Christian were running around with the Kazoos and they were doing everybody's theme songs. Kurt Angle was one of the guys they went up to.
Wasn't
and they did change.
Wasn't that on their show? They did that too.
That was, I forget which it was on, but it was definitely on Raw / SmackDown at that time that they were running around with the Kazoos. So yeah, you got Chad Gable coming in, and you get him, and not with one luchador, but dealing with 2. Allegedly, he's had a new trainer to deal with luchadors, who we don't know who that person may be yet. Did either of you guys see any improvement in his game against luchadors? Thanks to this trainer.
No, he kind of got passed around.
Yeah, I will say though, the German suplex with the mellow rebound clothesline or whatever that they did to Penta was a really nice, team up move in the Rumble.
Yep, with Mello coming in number 4 there, and we have a little lucha team versus a little nervous alliance of Gable and Hayes. You get those little alliances that form and break up very quickly in the Rumble every year.
That's just another great thing about the Rumble.
Yep. And then number 5, you get.
I was going to say, all right, so number 5, we had Santos, the 6, Otis. But now we get the 7, and Braun Breaker hitting that ring. Yeah. Oh, man.
Dogs barking.
He hit that ring with some force. And he was a presence in that entire match.
Oh, he's just a ball of energy.
Oh, and what a showing for him, by the way.
Yeah,
he might have had one of the
3 eliminations there.
Just he overall, did exactly what he needed to do for at this point in his career. He did exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah, and he did a great job at it, and it was a great showing by him where he looked dominant and would have been believable to win it.
And he had the most important elimination of the night on that idiot I Show Speed.
Oh, my God.
But he's technically not the one who eliminated him. Technically, I guess he would technically go in the book, but really it was Otis after I Show Speed somehow eliminates Otis.
But Braun's the one who threw him over, and Otis was out of the match by that point.
Yeah,
Braun gets the credit.
Otis would have been counted as an extension to the ground.
Yes.
I just loved it how he thought about putting him back up there and then just threw
He's
him
like,
over.
who is this? Nah.
Like, not this guy.
Yeah. No, there was no need for him to be in the match. Good for him on taking a spear and the bumps.
I would have
but
rather seen Tozawa, honestly.
Yeah, by far. And then, of course, we get Sheamus entering in at that point, and Jimmy Uso follows him, followed by Andrade, and then we get the Beast Jacob Fatu hitting the ring for that Rumble.
Woo-wee.
This was a moment that I was waiting for. Jacob Fatu, just seeing what he was going to do in this match, and boy, did he deliver.
The
Yeah.
the initial like back and forth with him and Breaker.
I really need a match between them two.
I need like a year long. I need like 6-month long feuds between them in the next 15 years.
I also wouldn't mind the idea of keeping them on split shows, but on the same trajectory where they just, at next year's WrestleMania, it finally comes together and we get that match, whether it's for Intercontinental United States Championship or somehow for, say, the World Heavyweight Championship. And Braun
These
Breaker's
guys are the future.
yeah,
These guys are the future right here.
yeah. And just having them separated with just the occasional sprinkling of crossovers, like say like in a Money in the Bank ladder match, to where it just so happens that they're crossing over, you know, or some type of multiple promotional match, whatever, multi-show match, because they happen from time to time. Just having that and then eventually getting that one-on-one match.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we get Ludwig Kaiser and The Miz at 13 and 14. And then at 15.
Number 15. Entrance
The
of the
Miz-
night.
That said his name.
Yeah, like what a pop and what a moment to see how the last 2 years we had the TNA Knockouts champion in the Women's Rumble. And we finally got the TNA champion.
If we weren't going to get a copyright, I would play that song right now.
Well, we have mentioned his name. We have mentioned the man we all believe in Joe Hendry. And by the way, when he hits the ring and he just starts clearing stuff and knocking people down, and you see Sheamus just sitting in the corner smiling and enjoying the moment. He's like, I'm not going after him. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this.
Hill Mark, I was just going to say that was the loudest, biggest pop of the night.
Yeah. By far.
Oh,
not a question.
And now we are in a string that started essentially with the Miz of champions coming out, because then we had the current TNA champion Joe Hendry and former champions. Then we get our tribal chief Roman Reigns.
Yep.
And wow, like he got a really good pop too. Like, and then he hits the ring and the spears he's hit. I did the Braun Breaker spear on Roman.
Could have been done better. Could not have been done better. That sequence was amazing.
That's almost another match I want to see now. Is Roman and Braun at some point down the line?
Yeah.
You know, and then we get Drew McIntyre at 17.
Played his role well in this Rumble.
Which apparently, I don't
Wasn't happy
know.
about it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's storyline or not, but with the way they've been blurring some of the lines lately of kayfabe with this. But apparently he went in the back, was not happy. Word has it that something went wrong and that he wasn't supposed to be eliminated then.
Apparently,
I thought it was someone who was supposed to.
Yeah, apparently he left before the show ended. Like, he just grabbed his stuff and left. Like, absolutely, I mean, I think he had a good showing in the match. I think that he didn't need to be there at the end because it wouldn't have made sense. I mean, it would have made sense for him being eliminated, whatever. but more of what we see as we get toward the end of this match now. Like, maybe if something did go wrong, was he supposed to be calculated into that?
No, I feel like he was eliminated when he was supposed to be. That felt right.
I'm not saying it didn't feel right, but let's just say, hypothetically, there is legit heat, right? Something he legitimately went wrong. What if he was part of that whole later on?
I heard he was saying that someone in the match was going into business for themselves and not following storylines that were supposed to be happening. So I don't know who that could. I'm thinking it was probably IShowSpeed.
I mean, it's the Royal Rumble. There's only so many storylines that are playing through it at any given time to go through the entire match. Like, and even if somebody went into business for themselves, it's the Royal Rumble. Were you going to win it anyway? No. So
trying to shoot on me. I'm sorry.
And then after Drew, we get Finn Balor.
I think Penn's only. I think you're a little bit behind, but that's all right. Catch up.
And then we got our United States champion after that, Nakamura.
Followed by eventual winner at the number 20 slot. And as DJ told me, first ever winner out of the number 20 slot, Jey Uso.
No. Oh, yeah.
Yes, we have a new spot has been crowned a winner. Good for the number 20 spot. It gives hope to the people in the future entering in the last third.
Yes.
Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Is there an echo in here?
Is there an echo in here?
And you killed it.
Yes. That's what I do.
But yeah.
So with Jey coming in at that number 20 spot, did you think that you guys, obviously, I mean, did you think there was more of a chance of him winning coming in that 20 spot than you did before the Rumble started? If he had been in there any earlier? Any?
I mean, the later you enter, the better.
Yeah, but then there's those like Cinderella stories who enter early and hang in there.
So, with perspective of that question, I'm going to name off all the next 9 people who came out after Jey Uso. AJ Styles in his return, which, by the way, came out with his phenomenal theme song again.
So we got face AJ at this point.
Yeah. So AJ Styles at 21. At number 22, Braun Strowman. At number 23, who I'm still waiting to see enter the Royal Rumble, John Cena.
As opposed to the floating towel and armbands.
Yeah, it was just really weird. All right. And then 24, CM Punk. 25, Seth Rollins. And then 26 was Dominic Mysterio. 27, Sami Zayn. 28, Damian Priest. 29, LA Knight. And number 30, Logan Paul. There's some big names in there that come out after Jey Uso. Just the storytelling of whoever was left in the match still at that point, which was like Roman and Drew and Finn, I think were still in there. Maybe Sheamus is still in there at that point. But
let me see.
But
okay, sorry, 1 second. Little fantasy booking question. So everything's exactly the same. 3, 2, 1. Number 30. Logan Paul. Masked figure comes out and beats him up and walks toward the ring and unmasks. Who is it?
The Rock.
Brock Lesnar.
No, not Brock Lesnar.
No, it can't.
Brock just officially got named in that.
No, he got named.
All right.
No, they announced it the other night. He's officially named in the lawsuit now.
R.I.P. Lesnar's career.
Well then, no.
Oh God. I love it.
Hold
on.
No, it's Rikishi, and once again, he did it for The Rock. For whatever reason, he didn't do it for Jey. He did it for The Rock again.
Is it like Rikishi in a vehicle? Like just.
But but that would be interesting. I mean, I feel like Logan Paul at 30 was very disappointing at that point.
Like I was
We
hoping
knew
a
he was
match.
going to be in it though, and if he hadn't made an entrance by 30 and that was the only spot left, we knew it had to be him because he said he was in. So yeah,
John, I can believe that Charlotte Flair won. We and BJ both had her predicted once they
It was
announced
obvious. Like that's who she is. That's what she does. Oh, they announced she's coming back. She'll be champion at WrestleMania or the next night. Who knows?
But just that after that point, what Jay had to go through.
yeah.
And
Blue
I
Jay
mean-
had to survive.
I mean, let's put it into perspective. We got Braun at 22, Cena at 23, and Cena eliminated Braun right away.
Yep.
Like Braun just pulled a Braun and got ahead
You're
of
not
him.
on my level, kid.
You know,
I like that Damian Priest got to eliminate Dominic. That was
Yeah,
John
that
Cena
was
was
nice.
like, "Nope, you're not going over on me."
that, no. And that's probably the last time we see them interact for a good while.
Yeah.
They're on separate shows now, so
Yeah. I was partially also hoping for like how like Jay Uso, I'm not going to say was an upset pick, more of like an X Factor pick to win, right? Somebody else who
Like
would have been that
Gilmore.
would have been Sami Zayn as well. Imagine if Sammy had won the Rumble. That would have gotten just as big of a pop as Jay would have. But
I'm not gonna. I'm just. No.
I
But
just
he'll mark,
I felt
he'll
it was
mark
Jay's
callback.
time.
yeah, 100% heel mark called it. Props.
Oh, Mark, give it to you for that one.
We
I said Punk, and I was Final Four.
I had Randy Orton returning and winning, which, did not happen in any way, shape, or form, which is why, I gave the speculation of other people who could win. And I said it for a good 3 weeks. This is the hardest Royal Rumble I've ever had to choose the winner of, given the fact of, think of the All-Stars and future Hall of Famers we named. And Ray Jr., current Hall of Famer. Sheamus, future Hall of Famer. The Miz, future Hall of Famer. Roman Reigns, future Hall of Famer. Drew McIntyre is probably a future Hall of Famer.
Cena,
Yes, Cena, AJ Styles,
Miz.
CM Punk, Seth Rollins.
Priest.
Too early to call.
Too early to call Priest.
He's a Monster Factory guy. I'm partial.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. If you got to call for the local guy, then would that make Liv Morgan, since she's from Jersey, a future Hall of Famer too? Because we have to stick it out with the crazy girl.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
from North Jersey.
Yes.
South Jersey's a different ballgame, man. She's from up there.
Yes.
Yo,
Yeet.
Mark. Yeet, yo, Mark.
Yeet.
Yeet, 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 yeet. But yeah,
All right, so who do
now
we see Jay challenging?
I was going to say the work up toward the end of this match, because there's a moment we still have to talk about that happens before when we get down to the final three. That happens, and that's CM Punk eliminating both Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at the same time, and then him himself getting eliminated, and then the complete crap show that happened after that, with what is the most vicious curb stomp I might have ever seen.
Oh yeah.
I
And
just
Yeah.
hope that Roman's okay.
it seemed like he was fine, but you
took
heard
You took the coup de grace curb stomp.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, and did the follow up.
Paul just sitting there. Look what he did.
Like and then we get the follow up curb stomp on the steps, and then we have
the
CM
steps.
Punk walking by Paul after they get Rollins out
Steps
of there.
over Roman to walk by Paul.
Yeah, and something I was going to bring up previous to that elimination, we have a moment in the Rumble where Seth Rollins is the one closest to the camera, and you can see Roman in the corner, and he's standing up, and we get to that almost face-off moment with them, and it seems like, are we looking at maybe Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, or maybe Roman, Rollins, and Punk in a triple threat match?
What's Sarah Miedo got to do with this?
Yeah. Yeah, Penta's
Oh, yeah,
gone
that is,
now.
that is. Well, if I do that, that's the triple threat.
Ah. I thought you were doing.
Wait, triple threat. Yeah,
My
that's the
bad.
triple threat.
Now we're throwing up gang signs.
I am apparently. I'm gonna get shot from
Whoop whoop.
that.
But yeah, that was, and I said this last week as well, and the week before. I felt like that we started seeing, especially after Rollins lost to Punk, that we needed to see a bit of a meaner side. We needed the change. And
Still empty,
Rollins,
BJ.
yep. There's a
Oh
drop.
shit! There was two. It's a third drop. Come on, third drop. Come on, third drop.
I missed.
Oh,
Got it. It's a really thick stout, so
that's what
I'm
she
sorry.
said.
Giggity. But yeah, so where do we see this whole CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns storyline going?
Wherever Paul wants it to.
I mean, that's fair, but let's speculate here, people.
Huh. Paul
I
did
just hope
ask
we get
CM
a triple
Punk to
threat
take
out of
him
it.
when the whole bloodline thing broke off. Like, and when the whole bloodline civil war started, Paul went to CM Punk and said, "Take me with you," and Punk left him where he was. So,
I mean, there's a lot more to that because of Bloodline coming out and all that stuff. But no, it's one of those things to where what if this is more not Punk being involved in that feud, but more of the pull on Heyman. That maybe Heyman has to stretch himself and manage both of them.
I love it.
Well,
how
it was Paul making the
Heyman's
request
been-
of Punk, wasn't it?
No,
it was
Bob,
Punk
no, I'm
making the request
talking-
of Paul.
I'm talking about now. Like
Now we're at now.
now. Yes. Yes, we're at now. Then is now. But so
I
like
the position Heyman's been put in, though.
That-
you know, I mean,
that's the interesting thing about it because CM Punk doesn't have to be involved in that match, and I don't think he should. I would love to see Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns 1-on-1, where Seth Rollins finally has an actual shot at winning. Because the last time we saw it was title matches, and they always ended in a non-finish.
and the
to
fact
where
that
we
this
draw.
isn't title means that they just want to beat each other.
And this
Yeah.
is 10 years in the making. Like, this is something that you could say that they planned to seize for last year at WrestleMania with him turning and hitting Rollins with the chair instead of
field,
finishing Cody off.
Yeah.
Like, that's another thing. Like, I'll say, like how I say Cody Rhodes opened up the floodgates for this whole bloodline civil war to happen. Seth Rollins opened up the door for this to be revisited.
Taco
Pizza match sounds delicious.
Yes, yes, it does.
Let's make that not competitive and let's just all eat taco pizzas.
Yes. Or pizza tacos. Either way,
Oh,
I'm gonna have to work on some recipes now.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, could CM Punk's favor take Paul Heyman away from a Seth Rollins Roman Reigns match?
I mean, I feel like he just wants the ice cream bars back, but honestly,
You're just stuck on them ice cream. You got it in AEW. You should have been in Chicago in AEW with AEW when they came back for a night. All right.
oh yeah, I should have been in Chicago. Totally.
Not worth going to Chicago for a lousy ice cream sandwich.
No, I've been in Chicago for
the hot
5 minutes of my life, and that was just long enough to exit the airport, smoke a cigarette, and then run back in to catch my connection flight.
But yeah,
That was 1994.
boy. Anybody here alive from the 1900s besides us?
That's it.
Besides us?
Slowly raises his hand because of arthritis in the elbow and shoulder.
Our follower count is dropping, dude.
Come on, Gen Z, help us out here. But yeah,
Skibbity toilet, let's go.
could we see Paul Heyman taken away with the favor?
The favor could be he has to return to manage Punk.
At least
Could
for
be.
WrestleMania, which could lead to
What?
a Punk Roman feud for the year.
Ooh, okay. I was
You-
just thinking, like, what power does Heyman have? What?
Cool. He would have the idea to be able to get Punk in a main event still if he's not facing for a championship, say night one.
Okay.
As an
That's a
example.
little-
Or maybe Jay picks Cody and CM Punk is like, I want in on that World Heavyweight Championship match. You know, there's definitely plenty of ways to go, and that's the great thing about this time of year, especially with WWE. Even if you think you know, and you might know, sometimes you don't. And there are swerves on the way. There's more swerves on the way to WrestleMania usually than any other time of the year. And when it comes to Paul Heyman having his hand in the cookie jar and having the pencil in the other hand, you know, anything's possible.
We're starting to devolve, aren't we?
Yes. We've done a good job of not devolving, but we have slowly devolved. Does that say call me devolved?
12.7, that explains it.
All
Okay,
right,
Chris.
No way, Brother Fluff, man.
Oh,
I have a buddy I grew up with that was born like that day, and he always says like he's Elvis reincarnated, but he has no musical talent, and he was like completely
Oh,
not
neither
Elvis
did
like at all.
But that's another story for another time, not to be covered on a wrestling show. But yeah, I guess
So
the
the
bigger
Rumble-
question out of this now is who does Jey Uso chase after?
I personally like him chasing after Gunther. That is my personal pick. I think that
My only problem is, haven't we seen this?
Yeah, we've seen that match like 4 or 5 times and some incarnation of it, and he's never beaten Gunther, which there is something to say now that at WrestleMania, just like, because now here's what we see. Say he picks Gunther and he wins. We're seeing the Sami Zayn story told from last year, just with Jey Uso in that place.
And it's also on the next level of championship.
But no, but it's still the same story, right? Guy couldn't beat Guy, no matter how many times he tried to cross 2 different championship divisions. And then now this Sammy didn't win the Rumble, but that's the story we're going to get told. Is the unbeatable Gunther, right? Only a handful of guys have beaten him. Now,
so if we have Jey challenge Cody instead, then the Elimination Chamber winner is going to be going against Gunther. Who do you think would be in that Elimination Chamber and win to pose that threat that Jey wouldn't to Gunther?
CM Punk, John Cena, Punk or Cena.
Punk or Cena versus Gunther.
Because that could be the favor as well. Hey, Paul, get me into the chamber. You know, we don't know what this favor entails, so it could be absolutely anything. Oh, I just heard something downstairs. I will be right back.
All right.
I'll go check on that.
Are you being swatted?
All right. So, BJ, who do you think Jey goes after? Do you think he's going after Gunther? Do you think he's going after Cody?
I'm thinking it's Gunther. I would love to see that matchup of Jey versus Cody, but in this environment, it's face, and I feel like that just, you
need the
that's
dynamic between the face
WrestleMania.
heel. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you really have
don't. But like that's how modern wrestling is booked. I feel like, yeah, it'll be Gunther. We've seen this before. I don't think Jay comes out with the belt. Um,
So you think he just keeps losing to Gunter?
yeah, and probably there's some involvement with Sammy somewhere in there that's like affecting him. I think ultimately, like the end result, maybe a month or two after Mania, is Usos reunion. But
Okay, so you think Jay belongs more with his brother as opposed to a singles guy then?
personally, I'm not a fan of Solo Jey Uso, and honestly, Jimmy is just lost in the crowd.
So you think they kind of need each other more so. Some of the parts is the total is greater than the sum of the parts for the Usos.
I feel like look at where the successes lie. Has fallen. Whatever. Um, you know what I mean? They were multi-time champions. Have they won any singles gold?
Well, Jay did win the Intercontinental
Oh, that's
Championship.
right. That's right. He had it for a minute.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he won it off of Braun and lost it back to Braun. So yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
no problem. We had a
Lego Me will
discussion.
take over for a moment.
He's at least as engaging.
Thanks. He's your creation.
He's
Yes,
way
yes,
more
he is.
threatening with that axe.
Hey, needed to have a hatchet.
Now, is
So
this
where
a
we at
Nintendo
here?
controller that he's pocketing? And we can kind of like
Yeah, he's
extra
got his
see-
game controller. He's got the hatchet. Yeah. And if you could see on the back there, it does say Danger Ginger printed on the back there too. Jay needs the world title. Jimmy needs Naomi, and Heel Mark needs him some Bailey.
You can have her. I'll take Katana.
Alexa's back. I'll take her. Or if Liv's around, sure, I'll take her. when
That's
she
all
comes
right.
to the show.
Hey, that's okay.
I wasn't aiming high.
Because if it's me picking, I'm taking the Kia Lions.
There you go. Going NXT.
Is that a troll job? Really?
Yeah, no. DG's always been a fan of Nikita Lyons.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that.
And I don't know if you'll be able to read it, but you can see the letter and you just can't read it. That does say
Yeah.
Danger Ginger.
It's a little out of focus.
Yeah.
It's focusing on you and not the Lego piece.
I am the Lego piece.
And the Lego piece is you. Okay.
Damn, hey, you shouldn't do that. You'll water down your drink.
Good point.
But yeah, so where were we at here?
So we are let's see. We've got Jay and who he's gonna face. We already did that part. So who do we think is gonna be in the Elimination Chamber to face whoever Jay winds up not picking? Okay, we've got John Cena already.
Roman,
Good
Seth,
thing CM
Drew, Punk. And,
He's already put way too much thought into this.
I mean, I just feel like it's the obvious names to put in there.
Yeah.
Because
maybe we have like an intercontinental elimination.
John Cena said it during the presser that they're doing an elimination chamber match to determine who's going to face the other champion. That's not true.
Oh, I missed it.
He straight came out
Cena has
and
already
spoke
put himself
and got
in.
up and left. Cena had kind of a heelish tone to the way he did. He didn't stand.
Good. I would love to see a year of heel Cena.
I want to see the way he put it was like, I always earn my spot. I've been here 23 years. I'm taking my spot.
Yep.
And Triple H came out afterward.
W-O.
And then when Triple H came out for his thing, and he's like, they asked him about it. He's like, yeah, it's John Cena. You know, he's been around long enough. He wants to call his shot. I'll let him.
Mm-hmm.
It might not even be, but that's all right. We got time.
Yeah, you still got
Yeah,
two
we
and a
have
half
2.5
months until
months.
Mania.
I think that, and if we saw anything, we saw what Seth Rollins did last year with a tore up knee.
Or what
Like
Cody
he
did
didn't
with the
look bad
pectoral
until
muscle.
a year and a half before that, or a year, no, like what, 6 months before that. I'm sorry, my brain.
Yeah, I was in
kinda-
23 when he did that.
But I would love, and I will say, stay on this, even though I do assume he picks Gunther. I would love to see Jay versus Cody just to keep that sprinkle of, come on, I thought I was done with all this. You know, I thought I was done with all this bloodline drama stuff. And now I have Jay Uso chasing me. Like, and just
But
to
I would
push him.
doubt.
And it just keeps pushing him over that edge, right? That none of this would have been happening if it
Over that
wasn't
coat?
for him. And we get closer to Homelander Cody.
The
Which
end
I'm
game.
still not very clear on what that is.
You got to watch The Boys.
Yeah, you watch The Boys, you'll 100% understand.
What am I, a babysitter? I'm not watching your boys. All right.
I don't want you watching my
Watch
boys.
my boys. Yeah, no. It's an Amazon Prime show. Get it together, man. Get with the time.
I've already got subscriptions to StreamYard, Triller, Netflix, Peacock, and now you're telling me to subscribe to Amazon Prime.
I'm not telling
Or
you
I
to
could
do
loan you the
anything.
comic books for The Boys.
Oh, it's a comic
I'm also saying
It started
that,
as a comic book. Yep.
that if you did
Now
a
you're
little
talking
bit of
about it.
Googling, I'm promising you could still find it. Oh, if
All
that if Cody Rhodes is injured to the point he
Hey,
cannot compete, then you have the Elimination Chamber to crown a new champion. And then you literally figure it out from there. You can have something happen in the chamber, and you have WrestleMania as the rematch of the person that got pinned last. There's ways around that. Like, I think Triple H would be able to figure that out. Elimination Chambers on March 1st. And that's still 6.5 weeks out from WrestleMania. Plenty of time to build. And you can even start building up your number one contender.
All right, I got it.
You got what?
So, if the Elimination Chamber is for Cody's belt, so it's going to be all SmackDown people, I've got the roster pulled up, and just at a glance, I have an idea who might be involved in this Elimination Chamber.
All right, hold on. I do have one before you go into that. Would this include John Cena, since he has already said, I am going in? Do you put the championship on John Cena?
Fine. Okay, so Cena, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm asking. This is his last run. They've actually made this a vocal point of the
Give him
story.
number
I get it,
17
I
in
get
the
it.
chamber.
Yeah, you give it, and then he drops it at WrestleMania, or he just has a run, and then when he loses the title, that could be it.
Maybe not.
I mean, I'm just looking at it as that perspective. Would it hurt to have him hold the title for 6 weeks and then put it onto the Jay? Hold on, hold on. Cody Rhodes injured. Jay Uso doesn't make the announcement till after Elimination Chamber. And we take the story of him eliminating Cena at the Royal Rumble, being in Cena's head now, and picking John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania.
That would be if Cody is in fact injured and has to drop the belt, and they do strap it on Cena. That would be the way to go.
And you have already something there that you could just add story to now. It's already happened.
Can I just give my 6 for the Elimination Chamber then?
Yes.
No.
John Cena, number 1.
AJ, John Cena, AJ. Priest,
Yeah.
LA Knight,
Roman, as of right now, since as far as of now, he is a member of that roster still.
Orton, and I was gonna say Shinsuke, but he'll have a match to defend, hopefully.
Yeah, he has the United States title. So.
Did you put Punk in there?
No,
yet?
because I think we find out that Roman is
But
exclusive.
as of right now, until that happens,
Okay, if it's right now, yeah, Roman.
Okay, that until we have that confirmed, because I agree with you 100% that we know where everything's been pointing since before the Netflix debut, and why Roman that piece hasn't been played yet is something of a mystery to me.
We already did that.
You know, like, why haven't we made the move official yet? And until then,
because they just announced that the transfer window's closed, so tomorrow they will make it official.
I mean, just before that, you know, like you would have kind of figured after Netflix, after doing the 2K25 reveal this week, you could have just slid it in there. Like, oh yeah, by the way, the newest member of the Raw roster is also gracing the cover of WWE 2K25.
A
You hold the news that he's on the roster until after the pay-per-view.
and B, ambiguity. Just complete ambiguity.
I'd rather have gotten it done out of the way with how big of a move that is. And that's a power shift in the shows. But now that
Tomorrow's going to be a huge Raw.
Well, yeah.
Some things are going to be announced. We're going to find some stuff out. It's going to be a big Raw.
No, but I mean, I agree at this point. I like all the names. Maybe my sixth would just be Jacob Fatu in that match.
Can down.
Right.
Huh?
He said you're right.
Okay.
Ginger is right.
Right.
Hey, at least this time he didn't knock the glass over. He knocked the empty can.
Oh no. This is a spill-free 2025 for BJ. No
5,
more spill.
4,
No more
3,
spill.
2. But yeah, taking Roman out, maybe if you know what, out of the names you mentioned, I'm going to give a name, and you replace one of those names with this person.
Okay.
To be included with Jacob as the sixth. Solo. You put Solo in that match as well, because then we can get a beginning interaction of Solo.
Solo's not on the SmackDown roster.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Or at
Because
least
he hasn't moved.
Oh no, he is.
Okay.
Roman is still on the SmackDown roster officially. No man, Solo, we will not see Solo for at least a month.
I mean, it's almost been a month now since we've seen him.
I'm saying at least another month we won't see Solo.
I'm hoping I was kind of hoping we would see him last night during the Rumble at some point, because after Friday night with the Jacob Fatu promo, we're off our leash now. We're running the show now. Very interesting.
He's saying
wording.
his own name now.
Yeah, like there's very, very interesting things that have happened, because now there's nobody sitting there telling him what to do, and obviously he's not acknowledging Roman.
No, it's the Tongan tree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the fact. Yeah, who is he the son of, or is he's one of like outside?
Fatu?
Yeah, you know how many Fatus there are? Because he's not Rikishi's son. I know that.
No, but Rikishi's like one of like 3 brothers.
Yeah.
I think he's Umaga's kid.
No, that's Zilla.
Yeah, but why can't it also be? Man, fine, I'll look it up.
It's House of Cluck's son.
And Hikuleo, I don't know how he's related either, but who are we talking about?
Ming,
Jacob
Haku,
Fatu.
whatever.
Oh yeah, isn't he Meng's kid? No, that's Tongaloa and Tonga and Hikuleo.
Yeah, no, and Tonga Loa is adopted. He's
Really?
not directly blood. Yeah, they adopted him.
Oh, no way. He looks
According to
just
Steven
like
Chambers, he is
Tama
Haku's
Tonga.
kid. He is Haku's
So,
kid.
Steven in the chat, here's my beef with the Women's Royal Rumble. No Becky, Alba, Isla, Blair, or Nick. There was no mentions of the Wyatts, really, which is fine.
Okay, hold on.
Oh.
Becky? Okay, fine. But it's coming. Alba and Isla? Well, they're a tag team. Blair? Well, they're with
Blair
Alba and
Nab-
Isla.
Blair Nab-
Nikki? She's got bigger and better things coming. Just wait.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
there were plenty of tag teams in the Rumble. You know, you had Becky and Bianca and Naomi both in there.
you had Pure Fusion Collective or whatever, which
Yep. Yeah, all three of them were in there.
I don't get them about as Kiana James is injured. That is why she wasn't.
That's
in
where
the
she's
match.
been. Okay.
Yeah, she's been injured. She, I think, it was a bad shoulder injury or something like that.
So this is so vague. Okay. Jacob Fatu is part of the Anoa'i family of professional wrestlers. He's the son of Sam Fatu and the nephew of both Rikishi and Umaga. Okay.
Okay.
But who is Sam Fatu?
One of the non-wrestling Samoans?
Samuel Larry Fatu is a retired American professional wrestler best known for his appearances. Oh, the Tonga Kid.
Ah, there it is.
He's the son of the Tonga Kid. Okay. So he's the nephew of everyone who matters.
Yeah, right.
But he's the son of. Thank you, Steven. You're a little quicker than me. Maybe I should just ask the chat next time. Next time I have
Pull the audience, huh?
Yeah.
We're going.
No,
Who wants to be a $10 there? But yeah.
Whoa! Just scrolling through my Sorry, no. But look at this.
Right.
I haven't clicked on it or anything, but
that's clickbait right there.
Oh, obviously.
Brian Guerrera, aka Target number 1.
But yeah, where do we see some
story? All it's saying is he's not going to be involved in the wrestling industry.
He never was to begin with.
Obviously, he's a musician.
His wife's got the talent.
Talk about non-breaking news.
I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
TMZ
rejects.
So where do we see? I mean, it is a speculation. So if Cody is unable to be at WrestleMania for whatever reason, who gets the championship and who gets thrust into a spot that wasn't planned for them? Oh, here's another thing. Does Roman get the title back? Do they nix the move?
He's not going to see gold for a long time.
I'm not I agree. I don't think he needs it at this point, but the chase to it, at least till next WrestleMania, and maybe if somehow Cody has the belt back, and you have the swap of a heel Cody going up against a white hot babyface Roman Reigns.
Possible.
I would rather see heel Cody up against
Bob said it would be the three. They do matches.
I haven't even thought about that yet. Hold on, let me get into that. Let me take a look at that roster.
I mean, I agree. I mean, we all agree on that. Elimination Chamber would be where the title would be given to the next person. It's just where do you go from there? Who gets that spot?
Okay, so heel Cody's first feud, a squash feud with face AJ Styles.
Again?
Yeah, no, just to be no, we're doing this again, and it's going to be the same thing, but yeah. And then Priest.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
All right, hold on. There's a question there. Since Damian Priest not long ago, in recent memory, dropped the world title, and a Cody is injured situation, do you put the WWE Championship on Damian Priest possibly?
Steven, that's way more likely than what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right. Like, would Damian Priest be somebody you could see carrying that title into the main event of WrestleMania?
Absolutely. He's been a champion before.
No, but I'm saying, would it be a believable WrestleMania main event?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's more what I'm looking at, because typically we get to this time of year, you don't necessarily go with the guy can carry the belt. You go with the guy who's going to be the draw.
They have time to judge it a little bit and build him up if necessary. But I feel like as a face, Priest, heel Cody, yeah, that's money right there.
Yeah,
he's gonna lose. Cody's gonna win.
No, I think Cody drops the title at WrestleMania. I think Cody, this run he's been on and some of these matches he's had.
Who?
I guess to whoever wins the chamber.
John
and
Cena.
Now, Juan Cena.
Juan Cena?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I could also see Cody retaining at Mania, dropping at Backlash. I could give that Cody somehow.
Give me yeah.
I mean, he's just over 300 days now. I think he's at 301 or 302 now. By the time we get to WrestleMania,
let him get his year, and then the story's over.
I don't think we see Cody defend it, even without injury. I don't think Cody was scheduled to defend the title at Elimination Chamber.
No.
It would.
No.
Because then it becomes, who do you put in that placeholder spot that we all know isn't going to win the championship? And that's something I've kind of appreciated in booking sometimes. Whether we know the winner or not, we've been put in situations to where even last night, what if Cody had gotten injured and KO won the title on a last second switch? All right, we have to go the other route now and hope for the best.
Yep.
Or they just felt something and they called the audible near the end of that match. Hey, go tell these guys when they're taking it home, KO's winning.
Yeah.
Those things do happen on
They
occasion. I'm all for, like I said, I would love to see the Royal Rumble winner. Personally, if Cena wins to the heel mark real quick, Cena should win. If he's going to get number 17, he should win it before anywhere's near his run. Otherwise, he wins it at Survivor Series, let's say. What happens? Oh, does he drop it literally 30 days later and that reign meant nothing? Farewell tour to where now...
Or he retires champion.
Well, hey, or something that I have brought up to you and on the show of Cena being written off type deal, but instead now of writing him off so he gets that last WrestleMania moment for that full retirement. What if he was to win the title, say SummerSlam? All right, we get to the end of the year. He's still champion. I will stay active and defend this title on every PLE until I
lose.
Any title match I am scheduled for, I will show up and I will defend it. Or we just get past that year, and on the road to the Royal Rumble, we get just a Juan Cena open challenge.
Yeah.
I would kind of silently pop for that.
What, the idea of his final run being stretched with the championship being won later than earlier now? Say he wins the championship, say after WrestleMania, right after WrestleMania, he defeats Cody in Paris or wherever that show is for Backlash this year. And
heel Cody.
Well, regardless heel face, he gets the championship, and then we have.
I don't think Cody's turning heel that quick.
Yeah, that would be a super quick
Been
turnaround.
a year of babyface Cody champion.
Yeah,
I mean,
doesn't seem like
is-
it's ending anytime soon.
There is something to be said that in the situation that it's not just babyface versus babyface, it would be a babyface versus a babyface legend. Because that's how you're going to market up John Cena for the rest of his running going forward.
Turn Cena heel immediately.
I think Cena should just have more of a meaner streak than be a full-blown heel. Kind of like the Street Profits. Give him that
Or
mean
the New
streak.
Day.
That he's going to do whatever it takes within the rules of being the John Cena character. Because that's one thing. He's going to kill 23 years of what he's done now. Building that never give up attitude.
Mhm.
And that whole gimmick. Like, I think it's better to give him a mean streak more than a full-blown heel turn. Let him be more aggressive. Let him fight for what he wants and take what he wants, but do it in the way that character would do it. If that means maybe a kick to the nuts here and there, hey, whatever. But you do it so it fits within the rules of the match, so that he's not necessarily cheating to win. There's just no rule against it.
He's just
So it's
doing
in
what he's
like a
got to
ladder
do.
match, or
Yeah, like how we've seen Cody do things in matches where it kind of plants the seeds of the heel turn, but he was never the one to, like Saturday night's main event. He didn't directly bring the chair into the match. The chair was there.
yep.
The chair
Yeah.
was good.
Like it also comes to a point where, as is said in chat, like when was the last time we saw John Cena win a match?
Forever.
As-
73.
Like it's been over 2 years since John Cena last won a match on TV or a PLE.
Yeah, wasn't it a tag match that he won too with LA Knight, right? That New Year's Eve tag match?
But he didn't get the pinfall
Yeah.
in the match. Like everybody has to stop clamoring for everything to turn heel, because then everybody's going to be a heel and everybody's going to be pissed that everybody's a heel.
No, there's faces.
Yeah,
Okay.
but all right. So
Okay.
so all right. Cody Rhodes, a face Cody Rhodes against a heel John Cena might make sense. But
SummerSlam. Heel Cody Rhodes versus a returning face Bronson Reed.
I don't think Cody would be champion then, but I'm just there for that feud.
No. I don't care if he's champion.
Yeah,
just
but
saying.
I'm there for that feud.
Face Bronson Reed. What's that look like?
Yeah, right. Is he not? Is he?
No,
not
I still
flashing
do all the
people?
heel stuff, but people like it now.
I mean, that's another thing.
Because what is heel face?
Yeah,
Like,
I was just about to bring that up. What is being a heel or a face even mean?
all it takes is,
anymore?
I do a lot of evil stuff, but I helped out a guy that everybody likes, so I'm a face now.
Like, I mean, even to the point that, like in AEW, somebody like MJF that everybody's supposed to hate, right?
Mm-hmm.
No way. Are you
And
serious?
2018.
he's supposed to be a heel. But we see how good he is, so fans cheer him. Like heel and babyface is a very blurred line of reality now, and does come down to the individual fan almost of who they're going to. It's not like 20 years ago. You could be walking through an arena, hear music hit, and you know exactly what that reaction is going to be.
Yeah, like honestly, line up any roster, and I have my preferences, and they might not fall in line with the heel face.
Yeah, that's what. Like even going to indie shows, we know who's obviously the good guy and who's obviously the bad guy by just how they're presented.
We've had chant battles with, what was it, Mimi and
Vicky.
Vicky.
and
Yeah.
Vicious Vicky, Notorious Mimi and Vicious Vicky. Like
Yeah.
I was alone in that chanting for Mimi.
I mean, it wasn't much of a battle then, but you were
I
there.
think I was trying to chant for both.
And speaking of the 2018 Royal Rumble, that was in Philly, and I was there.
Posted
Don't get
video
him
of it on
started.
Instagram.
Yes, of Nakamura's win that year, as a matter of fact. but like there is definitely a lot to be figured out there. Well, if you stop drinking it, it wouldn't get empty.
But it's in
BJ's out of
fun.
beer. We're almost out of time anyway, too.
Yeah. So, and some other news now, since we're done Royal Rumble talk, we got a couple things here to still talk about. This Tuesday night on the Johnny Cashmere YouTube channel for SPO Wrestling, us three will be doing a prediction show for
Taking it
their
home.
next event. Taking it home. It will be us three, Johnny Cashmere, and Robbie Illuminati. As we will be giving our picks for the show. I do have a graphic here.
Key to the city.
Last
Yeah.
time that
Of
we were
this
involved
whole
with John
week's
Robbie
worth of
Illuminati.
events.
The
Last time Robbie and Illuminati and the Danger Ginger crew interacted, it was on a street in Gloucester.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
yes,
went
it
well.
was.
It was a good time. It was fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good times had by all.
I'm sure we woke some people up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did too. But let me see. Oh,
Hi,
tiny.
You're in the corner now.
yes, I'm tiny. Hold on. I'm trying to do something.
Tiny
here.
DG.
Nope, that's not what I wanted.
That's code.
Your code.
DG just entered the Matrix.
So
There's
let
something.
me.
Oh, hold on. I can blow you up.
Whoa.
So this week, let me eliminate that here real quick. For SPO, it is our event week schedule for it. Monday, normal Spocast, which will have Willie Mack appearing. And then Tuesday, as we just said, is our show for our prediction. And then there's the celebrity boxing, I think, press conference thing there. And then Saturday at Harrah's in Chester, PA, the Key to the City event with some names like James Ellsworth appearing, Velcro, Robbie, Ruckus, Tasha Steeles, and Ruthie J. You can kind of see there. The Patriot will be there and many others. It is gearing up to be one hell of an event. I'm very excited for us to be doing the picks again on the Spocast channel on Johnny
Tune in on
Cashmere.
Tuesday for that.
Yeah,
Oh my
Tuesday,
God, yeah.
7 o'clock on the Johnny Cashmere YouTube. You can also catch it on his Instagram, his Facebook.
We'll go ahead and
at
put a link in the comments. In fact, I'll do that right now.
Yeah, and you can also get it on spowrestling.com. We will be live Tuesday night.
Oh, wait. Has he scheduled it yet? I don't know if he scheduled it.
No, but you can you can put the link for the page. For
I
just
can
his
deal with
page.
housekeeping later.
I could definitely do that. You know what? Let's deal with housekeeping.
Hey,
later.
hey, I do not love the Packers, but all I'm
Thank you,
saying
Gilmark. I
was,
appreciate you.
all I'm going to say is, Dez caught it. And that's why they changed the rule the next year that would have been a catch, because he caught it. But either way, we
Thank you. All right. So thank you very much, Mark. I appreciate
yes, Chef,
it.
you were missed on the show.
I've been incommunicado. Well, not incommunicado, just busy. Just life gets in the way, but hey, life is back to where it needs to be for me to be making my appearances here as well. So this week, all about
Also,
By life, he means like, appearing on podcasts across the country. And
I don't remember any of those. I must have been
collecting
roofied.
fat sacks of cash. Well, nobody watched them. So
Oh, not even me.
yeah, well,
and you were there. Why would you watch it? You were there.
they send you a bunch of money and said, "Here, come on this."
Also, next week, our show where we will also try to fit in some of the goings with WWE and whatever
we
else
don't.
throughout the week. But next week,
Mostly
we will
SBO recap.
yes, will be our Key to the City recap.
What time did we decide on?
2 o'clock.
2.
2 o'clock.
Woo!
2.
Two.
Because why not? Hey, balloons! It's a 2 party. And we could be your nice little pre-show while you're waiting for the Super Bowl to start. Which I hate that I'm about to say this. Go Eagles, because screw the Chiefs.
At least I have Saquon to root for.
I'll have to knock the dust off my old Donovan McNabb jersey. That's baby blue.
Oh, don't do that. Don't jinx us.
Well, now I'm definitely wearing it because it's the 1960s throwback jersey. I love that color scheme.
That's a little different.
Yeah, it's the throwback. It's not. It's the baby blue and yellow, like the Denver Nuggets colors almost.
Oh God, the canary.
Yeah.
I think you just scared BJ into submission.
I didn't know that existed for sale.
Well, it did during Donovan McNabb's time. That's for sure.
You didn't get that
Anyone but the Chiefs. Anyone but the Kansas City Reps. I mean Chiefs.
Hey, love Taylor
You know,
Swift and everything, but
All I'm
we're
going
like,
to say is I've seen referees
I do.
screw over wrestlers better and hide it better than what NFL referees do for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. That's all I'm saying. But yes,
I guess it's time to count us out.
yes,
They tried doing reversible jerseys. Oh God. Woof. That was a terrible trend. All right, everybody.
just because I didn't break it out this week to keep the streak going. And just because I'll also break out this one as well. Because since I have 2 WWE championships, I guess I have a claim that now Cody Rhodes needs to defend his titles against me. He has 2. I have 2. One's a WWE championship. One's an undisputed championship.
When was the last time you defended any of those?
The last time somebody stepped up.
Well, how about you put one of those straps on the line for our SPO prediction show?
Ooh. This could be a little logistical workout here.
Yeah,
We got a
I
here.
worked really hard for both of those. We can get a nice foam title and do that. I'm not putting up a $500 replica championship on that. But I do like the idea of having some type of belt, of making our predictions a competition. And until the
Maybe
next
we can
show-
get the old Skywalker belt.
Well, it's not old yet. It's
Nope,
old
not yet.
Not yet. Let's skirt. But yes,
All right,
everybody,
gentlemen.
thank you for joining us this week.
All right.
It's been
You know what?
wonderful.
Did you have anything else there, BJ? Yeah.
No. I just thought that was gonna
A hand
resolve
motion.
that challenge, that prediction challenge. I thought that would resolve into some kind of competition.
Oh, it will.
Well,
We just need to figure out what the trophy's going to be.
Yeah. We're not. We're more on to what's.
He's not willing to put up his strap, I guess.
I'm not willing to put up something I paid hard-earned money for.
And I can't blame him on that. If it was $5, that's one thing.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like I can eat a $5 loss. I'm not eating a $500 loss.
It's the Iron Sheik Championship. No, you know
Well, we're still waiting for him to
more
get to
to
the
me
ring
than
at
your-
WrestleMania.
your $500 bill means to you, so I'm not going to do that.
Hey, man, I found the missing link. But all right, now we have really gone off the rails here.
All right.
I'm
We've
Danger
derailed.
Ginger.
Started
Crash.
fun.
One day I'll point the right way. That's BJ of BJ Drinks Beer. Under us, over here somewhere, is this way, is Mr. Chef the Ref himself. And remember, 2:00 special start time next Sunday.
but be there Tuesday.
Yes,
We will-
pay
Special
attention to our
2 o'clock start
socials.
time
Be there
Sunday, but
tomorrow. Be
there
there Tuesday.
Yeah, pay attention to our socials. Links will be posted sometime in the next day or two for all that. And everybody, be good to each other and have a good week. And we'll see you next week for more BJ and DG Talk Wrestling with our personal referee, Chef the Ref.
Count it.
Now, let's go home.
Take me home. Okay, I'll shut up.
Southern Six.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder, Matthew Oman. We are all fight, no flight, primal fear. And you're watching BJ and DG Talk Wrestling. Yeah!